It's just occurred to me we really haven't had a completely successful test of this equipment.
I blame myself.
So do I.
Well, no sense worrying about it now.
Why worry? Each of us is wearing an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on his back.
Yeah. Now let's get ready. Switch me on. I don't think you're crazy.
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Oh, yeah. What is up, Ghostheads? It's another edition of the Ghostheads radio show. I know I'm riding solo tonight, but that's okay. We're going to do this anyways. My name is Ted, aka Steady, and normally I would be telling you guys, joining me is my partner in crime, the one and only Matty B. But he's still in recovery, and he's been on a week long cruise, and he still hasn't recovered from all the fun and excitement that he was taking part in. So that's okay. Matt, get well soon, and get back on the Ghost Heads Radio when you get a chance. Um, welcome. If you're in the chat, say what's up. I want to hear from you guys. We got a great show for you. I'm going to be talking in a little bit about Hologate's Ghostbusters VR Academy. San Antonio Ghostbusters and myself were invited to a local attraction that had the new VR training academy. And my goodness, I cannot wait to tell you how much fun we had. That's going to be coming up in a little bit in the show. But first, plenty of Ghostbusters news to talk about today, isn't there? First of which kind of it took me by surprise. I don't know about you guys, but they just revealed that a one for one proton pack replica is coming from Spirit Halloween. How about that? Didn't think that they were going to be putting out anything this early, but you know what? That's actually pretty fantastic, isn't it? And the fact that they spent so much time over the last few years updating, making their spirit pack better and improving on it, that just goes to show you like how much they're really listening to the fandom, and I really appreciate that a lot. I know Maddie's excited. Maddie was sort of one of the ones that really wanted to get his hands on one of the Spengler packs, and unfortunately wasn't able to. So that's okay, because now him and like many of you, have this wonderful, great opportunity. These photos come to us from gbfans.com. Spirit was nice enough to give them an early look at everything. So we're going to be taking just a quick peek at the life-size replica proton pack from Spirit right now. If you're in the chat, say what's up, give us your thoughts on it. Do you already have your Spangler pack? Are you good? Or is this something that kind of intrigues you? I think just right off the bat, if you are someone who might not have got your hands on the Spangler pack, even if you did, the Spangler pack is definitely one that you could just leave alone. That's your afterlife replica. It doesn't need to be modded too much. It could stay in that sort of theme or that sort of timeline, right? If you're someone who wanted a 84 pack, you wanted something closer to the GB2 pack, not as old looking, then yeah, this is definitely the one for you, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. Little weathering all around, some scratches and stuff like that. The shell itself is is probably too smooth, if you ask me. It definitely looks like it is plastic, which is not a terrible thing. I think when people start to weather it and give it like a coat to texturize it, that's going to be a vast improvement. If you, that's what I'm thinking. 1 second, real quick. All right, we're back. Um, doesn't look like there's anything on the clippered valve. The connectors could use a bit of weathering as well. They look kind of like almost like clay. Ribbon cable's decent. Up. Maybe I should do it this way. Bigger size. There we go. You know what? We're actually gonna have a a guest today, all the way from Georgia, from the Atlanta Ghostbusters team. Make some noise for Joe, everybody. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, sorry, I'm getting kind of a different audio out of the wrong place right now.
No worries. Take your time, man. Take it. There's been so much Ghostbusters sort of news, like in all these little places. So first, I was like, you know what? Let's talk about this spirit pack.
Mhm.
I'm assuming you are a Spangler pack owner.
I'm sorry, I still can't hear very well. It's coming out of the wrong speakers. I'm trying to fix it.
Oh, gotcha.
Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
All right. Audio output, headset. Come on.
Oh yeah, this thing's real finicky.
Mhm.
I think I might have lost your audio now. You there?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Awesome. How are you, man?
I'm doing okay. Sorry for the wait.
It's all good. Busy day. Love the shirt, by the way. Is that an Ectocooler shirt?
It
Oh
is, yeah.
my god. That is so
Uh,
cool. That is so cool. Oh man. Well, welcome to the show. I know we've been talking about getting you on for quite a while, man.
yeah, only time I've been on, I guess, was with the charity thing back in December.
Which was a fantastic time,
Hmm.
and lots more to come. You guys stay tuned. But yeah, man, welcome. I wanted to talk about this Spirit Pack first because it kind of came out of
Mhm.
nowhere, if you ask me. Um, them just reissuing the old one again kind of was what I was thinking, but they went out and they made a one for one, which is good for them and good for the fandom, if you ask me.
There's somebody definitely over there working for, I don't know if it's Rubies or whoever the Spirit contracts out for this sort of thing, that like them continuing to iterate on this design every year, like making little changes. Says like, I want to make it a little bit better. I want to make it a little bit better, but like they're trying to keep it in an affordable price point. So I can it's kind of fun to watch for folks that
It's
need very entry level pack.
it's almost like a pay for play scam. It's like, hey, we'll give you this and
Mhm.
we'll give you a little bit here, we'll give you this and da da da, and they just keep handing little things, little things. Now you got a one for one. What is the next one going to look like? That's what I'm really curious about. Have you
I'm
seen
not.
the photos yet?
Yeah, I was looking at it this morning. It's like I think for $250, I think they may have hit where they're gonna go. Like they might fix up some of the buttons on it right now. Like those sort of look like whatever hardware they could plug in without customizing them. Those might get swapped out for better looking switches, or you know maybe they'll be painted silver. Maybe it'll be an orange tip next year. Who knows?
I agree. I agree. Yeah, because especially the one itself, all the pieces look very plasticky. The
Mhm.
shell very plasticky, which is not a bad thing. I mentioned earlier, a lot of folks like to texturize their packs, and this is going to be one of those. You're going to want to put some texture on it in several places to kind of not age it, but reinforce the look. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it's a starting point, and then you get to make little changes. Like the strength to these packs is there's always been, for the longest time, most of the fandom has started from scratch, gotten a shell, or even before then, like putting it together out of what have you, cardboard, or making a mold, carving it out of wood. The my first pack wasn't, I didn't build it. I bought it off of someone else that had started, but it's made out of plywood with like PVC pieces and stuff.
Very
Um,
nice. Very nice.
so the but when you start a project like that, it takes a while before you have something you can actually wear out. So
Oh,
these
for
are
sure.
like this is like working in reverse. Folks that buy these ready-made packs, whether it be the Spirit pack or this new one or the HasLab pack, and then they can put it on right away, basically, and go out and do their Halloween or do an event or something in it. And then they get to slowly make changes over time, like swap things out, make it look a little bit better. And then, or if they want to make a fully, a much more screen accurate pack, if that's what they're after, they have something they can still wear in the meantime while they're putting it together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody's excited about the V hook being a little bit more accurate, which is a big plus. I still, this will be the thing they change next time. That speaker is just sitting there like an eyesore on the cyclotron, and I guess I get from maybe a design standpoint, it kind of makes sense. They think people really need to hear the sound coming from like that area. Put the speaker exhaust holes like on top of the cyclotron or something so that
Put it
it's a little
behind
bit
the
more
bumper.
hidden. I'd be good. I'd be great with that too. Put it behind the bumper.
They could put
Make
it. They could put it in the little
yes.
the bellows or the screw or whatever, the shock mount. Like they could make that. They could make that
Oh,
hollow and just have a speaker in there if they wanted to. There's options. We
there's
could
plenty.
give them advice.
Plenty of options. The bumper you could actually, if it's probably hollow, right? There's other photos that we can look through. It's hollow. You can make notches on the top and the bottom of the bumper, and you could have sound emanating from just the bumper itself. It's
Mhm.
if you really need the sound to come from that area, I would urge them to put it somewhere else because that's like just the one thing that really sticks out to me. Dave's Dimension, what's going on, brother? He's having a busy week this week. That's going to be a great project, he says, considering he's modded 4 packs in the past. It's great potential for crossover cosplay pack projects. Yeah, and I think also for the price point, a lot of modders are going to be a lot more feel safer to mod this one as opposed to the Spengler pack. I'm
Mhm.
really worried about messing up my Spengler pack, so I'll do a lot less to that one. It's a blank canvas. So much can be done. More room inside to swap electronics. Amen, brother. He removed the speaker and used his own on the motherboard and sealed the holes. Very nice. They could have put the speaker in the end filter, but you know what? People want to put the smoke machine in the end filter, right?
Hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. End filter's on the top, right?
Um,
Or is it the
I
one on the
think yeah,
bottom?
I think you had it right. The smoke machine's usually in the end filter, unless
There
I'm
you go.
blanking on something.
No. You're right. You're right. So yeah, they people like to put those smoke machines in that filter. So I kind of see where they're going with that one. But yeah, I completely agree. They really need to come up with a pretty decent spot to change it. If you like an Alice frame on your pack, I don't know if this is going to be the best one to put it on. I don't know what under that looks like. Um, it's not just hollow. It shouldn't be just hollow.
Yes. So
Is it just hollow?
is that just a plastic motherboard, or someone gonna have to make one that you can mount an Alice frame to?
It'll be tough. It'll be tough too, because the reason why the Spengler pack is also so great is because they have those embedded reinforcements to put in an Alice frame.
Oh,
Um, I don't know how people did it with the spirit packs. I'm sure they have their ways, but um,
it usually
yeah,
was
look at
like
this thing.
they usually people had to put their own reinforcement in it, but like it's sphere packs weigh very little, so
Plenty of room is right.
Hmm.
What were you
I've
saying?
got it. So the spirit packs weighed very little, so just putting like a bolt and a washer through there to put some mounts in didn't seem like that was a big deal. I don't know if this larger one is going to have any issues or not. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. My poor dog has got a cough today.
I have dogs that would sneeze from time to time, so yeah, I totally understand it.
I don't know if he ate something when he went out last night, but he came back in. He's been hacking all night long, and all today he's going to go to see the vet tomorrow.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they completely gutted this one, GB fans. The iron arm is looking less gold. Is that just me?
I cannot tell. Let me see if I can full screen that.
Oh, you know what? I can do that too. Hang on.
Yeah, it looks silver. I just had
Which is
I had the chat up in a browser window. This is full screen now. I also had you up on the wrong side. I was like looking at the chat over here. My camera's over there. I'm like, what am I doing?
it's all good. It's all good. So that's an interesting difference because on the packaging it looks very gold, and then here the weathering on it makes it almost look silver.
That's what it seems like. Is like they tried to weather it, or maybe they didn't put enough gold on it.
Something. Well, awesome. We want to definitely see everyone's mods when you guys start cracking. Get working on this.
Mhm.
I'll be really interested to see what people start doing with it because of the price point. You can be a little bit more flexible with it, if you ask me. So yeah.
Mhm.
Dave's Dimension also says, wait. In the past, Spongeface has made brackets that mount in the shell to mount an Alice frame on. Ooh, very cool. And then they've never done an iron arm on previous ones, so it's nice to see them at it. It can easily be painted. I agree.
Sorry.
You're totally
Yeah.
good.
I'm on a podcast. It's been too busy. She was not briefed.
It's all good, man. Yes, a nice sort of gold pen, paint pen would work really well, and because of the texture that comes with it, gives it a nice little weathering look too. So yeah, I completely agree with that. Very cool.
Yeah. If I was going to be in charge of one of these projects, like working for like with a commercially produced costume prop that wasn't going to be accurate, but was going to be more mass market, needed to keep a low price point, intentionally making like one thing very obviously inaccurate might actually be a plus. It's like, yeah, to get the hobbyists engaged. It's like when it's like there's a trick with people who do like YouTube or whatever, like video streaming, or if you do a video and then you say one thing that's incorrect or controversial or whatever, and that way you get lots of engagement of people jumping into the comments about it. Like this would be the same thing. Like people are going to pass this around and you're going to get all this marketing. Is like, well, this is very weird. They decided to make the the Clippard valve gold this time or something. Like, why would they do that? I'm going to immediately swap that out, and then you just get people just on a mission. It's like,
Marketing 101, right?
Yeah, I took some advertising courses.
Well, we have a major topic of today's show. And Joe, thank you so much again, man, for being here.
Hmm?
Because you were very instrumental on getting some other teams involved. We are talking about Hologate's Ghostbusters VR Academy, and I'm going to pull up some of the photos from your team's adventures. Check them
Mhm.
out. You guys look awesome.
Yeah, the
Um,
lighting was very flattering at the Hologate thing. We were very happy with how that stuff came out.
Oh my god, it was almost cinematic. I
Mhm.
took some video and the lights that correspond with sort of the action in the game, so it it's not even for the players because the players can't see the lights, but it's for everybody else, their entertainment that the environment surrounding the game just coincide with all the action that they're going through. So yeah, it was pretty incredible. You guys look awesome. Tell us about your experience playing Ghostbusters VR Academy. Meet your expectations, exceed your expectations. What was y'all's event like altogether?
All right. Well, we've got two. We partnered with Andretti. Was it Andretti Indoor Karting and Games, or Andretti's for short, for this. It's from the very beginning when Hologate announced that it was launched worldwide, and we didn't know what that meant really. It's like, okay, have the potential for any of the locations? Like I saw there were 7 different locations around the Metro Atlanta area that claimed to have Hologate installations. But I'm like, but how many of them is this, like where the Void VR did back, 5 years ago, or was it 7 years ago now?
Yeah.
The Like where some of the locations would have it, some of them wouldn't. Their Ghostbusters thing was like the first thing that they launched, so all of the new locations were coming out with, Disney bought into them, and there was all the Star Wars and the Wreck-It Ralph and all that stuff. For those stuff, we couldn't find Ghostbusters one there. So I was trying to see who around us would have the Ghostbusters experience. And I just kind of made a really loud post locally, be like, we don't know which of these 7 locations would have it. We hope someone lets us know, because I didn't want to have to make. I was gonna call around that evening, but not until I got home from work. And then before that even happened, we got Andretti's marketing director for the company contacting us saying, "Hey, we have," and also like Hologate liked the post and everything. It's like, okay, so they're paying attention. They're looking for hashtags.
They
They
are
want to market
looking.
this. And I was just like, yeah, we're free marketing. We'll have a bunch of weirdos show up in costume and set up we'll have an inflatable Stay Puft and an Ecto One and that whole thing. Um, the marketing director I spoke to was I believe her name was Shannon. She had done the launch of this. The first North American location was the Orlando Andretti's, and so they worked with one of the Orlando-based teams. They didn't find out which one, and so she already knew what Ghostbusters costumers were all about, and what was like, this is great. Like it's a fun and it's engaging. We give these guys free run of the place for however many hours. So, at any rate, that's how it all started. I got linked up with the Marietta location and the Buford location. We did the Marietta one this time, and we're going to do the Buford location in June for Ghostbusters Day because I wanted to space it out.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Um, and we showed up. They were just like, okay, you can basically do what you want. Here's the space for a couple of tables. So we set up our packs. We set up some prop displays. Made sure we had about 8 people that showed up to do it. So we could have 4 people playing, 1 person taking photos, and then the other
Smart.
3 could be at the table interacting with everything. People are excited. We had fans of all ages wanting to ask us. Like very few actually surprised people at this point. I'm not sure if we've just been out there long enough, but people just accepted that there were cosplayers now, as opposed to before. It's like, what is this? What are you trying to sell? What is? We got like 1 or 2 of those, but for the most part, it was like Ghostbusters, all right. Or like, I gotta tell my friend back home, or my kid, or my dad, or whoever it is. Like, he's such a big fan. And then they said we could just line up at any point in the night. They would slot us in 4 players at a time, and they didn't have the haptic feedback vests at Andretti. So I'm not sure if any of the locations have them, but that's one of the optional things that Hologate has, so you can get the force feedback.
Wow.
Because they didn't have that, it also meant we could wear our packs there. So a couple of us wore the like I'm on the I'm in the gray suit there, and then
Yeah.
James is the other one on the other side in the front. We both wore our packs in the Hologate arena, and just crossed our fingers we wouldn't slam into each other with them. Because that was real animated. I got down to the ground. There was a part where a train comes at you, and it's like flying through the train tunnel. And I saw there's achievements. If any of you go to a Hologate location, it tells you like bonus points for hitting all these achievements. And one of the achievements is don't get hit by the train. And I'm a tall dude, and I'm like I can I move side to side? I don't want to like run into the edge of the play area or run into one of my other teammates, and so I just ducked down on the ground, and like it counted. It said that I managed to miss the train.
I full disclosure, and I know I'm putting myself out there when I say this. I had seen because I was like the last guy to play the game. We had like 2 or 3 teams already play. One of the headsets was down, so we kind of had to stagger our team. We had like 6 or 7 people go out. But that part of the game, and I wasn't really sure if you were supposed to, like you said, duck, or I thought maybe you have to get to like the side because
I'm pretty
I'm
sure they meant for you
overthinking
to
things. In
sidestep because standing
GB2,
back up is a hell of a thing. Sorry.
I think you're right too because I decided for the first time I'm gonna go ahead and duck, and not only did the train still hit me, but I lost my balance because when you look down, you obviously are wearing these goggles. You're on this like 3-foot platform, so my mind's playing tricks on me, and I like tumbled over. Luckily, I didn't like come out of the contraption, but I literally like fell to like my hands like an idiot. So yeah, there's my Ghostbusters moment there. I've only played it once. I want to try to actually stand to the edge, and maybe that's the way you duck the train, but you successfully completed it. So I think it's either a combination of the two or
I went off center though.
maybe
Like if you see
so
the
you
photos of
have
me
to
after
get out
that,
of the
I was
way.
like in the middle of the arena. I had no idea I was that far over.
Then that has to be what it is because I ducked so far that I fell to the ground and it still hit me. So
Yeah. Oh,
you're welcome, everybody who's watching.
and also careful because there's 2 trains. One's coming the other direction. So watch out for that.
I might have missed that because I was staring at the ground at the time.
Yeah. We had there was so I don't know if yours had any there was some technical glitches. It's a brand new game and they were apologetic about it ahead of time. They had to reboot the system to get us to get it to play properly for all of us from the get-go. But then one of our folks like definitely wasn't standing on the platform. They were like out in space for a little while. So hope it may even be patched by now. It seems like maybe the location sensing wasn't super accurate yet. The game is trying to do a lot.
Yes.
It moves you through sewers and up through the train tunnels and through a Victorian mansion.
Library. Yeah.
The library was the most fun. I like that,
Oh
especially when
my
they split
god.
your team up because I wasn't expecting that at all.
It's a wild ride. It's not straightforward. Like you mentioned, you're on this platform. It's moving you through different environments, and all of the environments can be references to past movies. So it's just one big nostalgic adventure ride, and it starts off in the sewers, and it's basically the river of slime. I'm screaming while my team's
Mhm.
playing, "Slime! It's the river of slime!" It's so much fun, man. And you get ghosts from prior movies, and you have elements of the movies without saying everything. You have elements or scenes that you kind of reenact in a little bit sort of way. So it exceeded my expectations. I didn't know what to expect exactly, but it gave me everything that I could have wanted and more.
Mhm. Yeah, it was nice, good fidelity, good sense of like movement. Everything moves like when you move side to side and shake your head around, you're moving in real space, very similar to when the Void VR did that. But they're just keeping you tethered to like a little area. But you can walk freely. We only had the headset, I turned around several times, and nothing was getting tangled up. The equipment holds up pretty well, even with a proton pack on my back.
Absolutely. And I didn't play with a pack on, but we had team members that did, and they all, they weigh 35, 40 pounds, some of them. So yeah, more power to them for wearing all the gear. It was quite a sight to behold.
We wanted to
The
be as entertaining as
gameplay,
possible.
absolutely. The gameplay is really smooth. I had no trouble with it. I did notice that my avatar was about 6 inches off the ground. Like my platform, it's like the metal plate or platform I was standing on was like higher than the other three. And I'm like, okay, that's a glitch, but it's not so much that it's going to affect me a whole lot. The calibration on the gun we're holding still worked just beautifully. I will also add I exceeded 9,000 points. I feel like that's above average because most of the scores I
Yeah.
saw were between 7 and 8. So just
Yeah, I want to
letting
say most of
everybody
ours were
know out
7.
there.
All right, I know. I believe I wish we had gotten photos of it. It was very overstimulating, but the point count, I think the highest point count for anyone that like recorded it was our guy Kevin Looney, who was in the 9,000 range. But I think the rest of us were lower than that.
Yeah. I wonder what the high scores across the country are. I don't know if Hologate's tying all of these together or if it's just like location by location, where they have like a leaderboard standings. That would be interesting to find out.
The system looks like it has the ability to network link. It's from what I saw, because like some of the settings were kind of laid bare for us when they restarted it. But
Gotcha.
I would guess that everything is running locally right now. But I think the software could support if you wanted to do multiplayer. I think it could do that as long as everyone's using the same kind of setup. I mean, they're running it off of just a really beefy PC and the
multiple
HTC. Yeah, it's the HTC Vive, or is it Vive or Vive?
Vive, yeah.
Is the headset that they're using, and the wands that come with the Vive just slot into the Hologate Neutrona wands, or the blasters that act as the Neutrona wands. So it is conceivably something you could run in your house if you had a really expensive computer.
Hey, now we're
I don't know what
talking.
operating system it's running off of, but it was standard motherboard and everything. I saw the BIOS of the system flash before my eyes when they rebooted. I'm in
Really?
IT, so yeah, I got to see the whole boot up sequence, but it just immediately dumped us into like the games. Like I didn't see a Windows desktop, so it's something else. But the boot up sequence, it is just built out of a PC. Which is probably just a high-end PC with a really powerful video card.
Stand by here. I think you can still hear me, but my camera's having a little bit of issues.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome.
I
So now
can see myself. I see a blank screen for you.
I'm just a disembodied voice at the moment. Yeah. Let's see. Loved all the visual elements. For those who don't know, you can communicate with your team. There's a microphone system where everybody can talk to each other. That was a great surprise because I was worried that was going to be a thing. So you can definitely coordinate and strategize as you're playing the game, which is just a fantastic component to playing this. It's cooperative on every single scale imaginable, even to the point of capturing ghosts. It is almost essential to kind of tag team some ghosts with your teammates in order to reach or achieve a higher score.
Very quickly get them into that trap.
Absolutely. I'm gonna try and reboot this camera 1 second.
Sure. Yeah, we were largely using the the voice chat to just shout one-liners at each other. Like, Michael, could you shorten your stream? I don't want my face burned off.
Which is what everybody should do. That is actually like the goal is to do that for sure.
I wish someone was taking video of just the crowd that's lined up around this thing and their reaction to these all of us goofballs getting real hammy with it.
Shout out to Susan, who's on our team, who we were watching the other teams play. We watched like 3 games in a row, and we were the ones shouting all the one-liners from the movies, and we just had a blast doing that. So yeah,
Mhm.
please get the reactions of the crowd and the other teammates while you're watching. That's essential. I can't wait for the Ecto Blaze ride. Is it Blaze?
I didn't see that. I know that there was a ride. I didn't see it. I didn't see what the separate name was.
I think they call it it's the Ecto
It's like
one.
it's a hover Ecto one, and
It is
it's
rocket
driving and
powered,
gunning.
baby.
I'm so yeah. Give me Lucky and Wild flashbacks if you ever played that in the arcades.
I don't know when it's going to be out. They all announced, Holligate announced it was going to be sometime before that part of the game comes. And then I also don't know if the location in our town is actually going to get it. So I might have to go on a little excursion to find one. But we owe you a lot because you saved us a bunch of time by getting us in contact with Andretti's. I did the same thing you did. I was making phone calls
Mhm.
and all the locations I talked to were like, "What are you talking about? What Ghostbusters VR are you talking about?" They had no idea, even though it was at their location. So yeah,
Yeah. As soon as we had things set up and it was pretty painless, I was like, okay, now I'm gonna find out because our contact, the marketing director, even like asked, like, do you know of anyone else in the other around that would want to do this? And I was just like, yeah, like where do you have locations? Let me bring up the website real quick. And I was just like, okay, like Texas, I can help you with that. Like I can if I can picture the logos for the franchises in the area, I can hook you up with someone. And I contacted you, I was like, because she was saying like she had the page for the Houston Ghostbusters up or something and couldn't get in contact with them. And I was like, I don't know if that particular one is active, but there is a franchise in there that is. And I was like, remind me which name am I looking for? And that was the Yellow Rose.
Yellow Rose, great group of
And I was
guys over
like,
there.
perfect. I remember them from the charity stream, so we can do that. Um,
Absolutely.
and I try to get the Arizona Ghostbusters some tickets in, but the Andretti's location that they had listed, it wasn't open yet. It's like, okay, well, when it is open, let them know. I just like anyone who I could get, who I could hand off a contact to. I made a big master list in an email because, like, we don't always do like the biggest fundraisers, our group or anything like that. Like we want to contribute. We want to be part of the community. We have like a lot of visibility because Atlanta's a big city and a busy
Sure.
city. But like one of our biggest claims to fame is this is the town people come to for Dragon Con. So we get to meet a lot of other franchises that come in. We don't organize that one. That's like Alabama and the Georgia Ghostbusters have been doing that since before we were even a thing. And they help set up the parade. But I like to make all of the I like to get in contact with any other franchises so that we can team up, because sometimes two people put their heads together, you can do a heck of a lot more than either you could individually.
Yeah. I don't feel
Same.
like that's your dog. I feel like you're just hiding a demon like somewhere in your
I
house
feel
and you're
so
just trying to
bad
cover
for him.
for it. I
It's
know, it's
just
the worst thing.
I was hugging him last night. Well, my partner slept in the other room because she can't take it when I'm when I'm snoring in bed. Like, never mind, there's two of us doing it now. So
I have the same issue. We have 2 dogs, and one of them's always, like, got something going on with him. Dave says, "Do they have any located in the Northeast?"
there's a ton in the Northeast.
I'm not aware, but Dave, I can send you an email for Andretti's, and we can find out,
Oh, they don't have
from
Andretti's
them.
in the Northeast. I'm sorry, I was thinking of Ghostbusters franchises.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah,
well,
there's no
he's
Andretti's in the Northeast, but they have Hollowgate locations. I'm pretty sure. It would just have to go through a different company.
okay, gotcha.
Um,
There is a Hollowgate website, although someone mentioned to me that the location map is not updated. So it would be a starting point to go to the locations page on hollowgate.com to kind of get a good idea of where some locations could reside. And then just talking to a manager, because some of those employees at these joints don't know what's happening. So be sure and ask for like a supervisor or someone who's in charge. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a Hologate's a global company and they're based out of Germany if I remember correctly. So
I think that's right.
their local stuff might not be 100% up to the minute.
Well, Joe, again, man, appreciate that all that you've done for us. We're still trying to get some of the other Texas teams to get in to play the game, but it has my recommendation. I believe it has yours as well. As soon as you can, find a Holligate location nearest you. Go out and play the Ghostbusters VR Academy as soon as possible. It is so much fun. I recommend doing it 2 or 3 times when you get a chance. Just one is not enough, and
Yeah,
I
and
need to
dress
get
up
back
for
there
it if you have
ASAP.
the means.
Dress up for it. Contact whatever business it's located at. Make an event out of it. It's good for them. It's good for you and your teammates. So definitely just make the effort. It doesn't hurt. All they can say is no, but I highly recommend you play this game because it's a lot of fun, and especially for GB fans, a ton of references, a ton of very familiar aspects of past films. It's just a wild ride, and you're gonna love it.
Mhm.
Awesome, Joe. We will have you back on as soon as we can, man. And then, especially if you get a chance to play the Ecto Blaze, the VR. I think it's a race, actually. Don't quote me on that,
It
but I
might be
hear
competitive.
it's an actual race, and it is. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
competitive 2-player race where you're also trying to capture ghosts or just blast them with like a major proton
Yeah, just
blast or something.
flying through New York, causing collateral damage.
Hey,
Sounds like a good
we
time.
basically like Afterlife when they're going through Oklahoma, just like destroying businesses around that small town. So
From the
yeah,
minute they had those
absolutely.
trailers, I wanted to play a video game where you get to be in the gunner's seat. Like, are you kidding me? Yes, I love driving games. There, so
Are you hearing this, Spirits Unleashed? Ilphonic, you need to just go ahead and throw in that Ecto DLC
I'll
as soon as you can.
let them focus on the stuff that they're good at. Don't overstretch them. I'm
Right,
happy with
which
what we're getting trickled out so far.
absolutely. And Extreme is on the way. Extreme Ghostbusters DLC is coming to you soon. We'll have another stream on that when the time comes. But for now, Joe, tell us something about the Atlanta team. What do you guys have coming up? I think you also stream as well. So tell people when you were streaming.
Um, I don't stream, but our one of our founding members, Bob, aka DJBC, aka the Dennis Ball Show. You can watch Dennis Ball on YouTube. He's a little comedian puppet tennis ball that likes to interview largely people in the music business, but all kinds of other stuff. He's done some Star Wars streams with one of the founders of Wikipedia, and Bob's good at networking. He was very strong when we first launched our franchise for finding events to do, and just because he knows people from being an industry guy. So definitely tune into him. For as far as if you're local to Atlanta, we have next week on Saturday night we have Revenge of the 1980s up at Folklore Haunted House.
Very nice.
It's the last time they're reportedly going to be doing a 1980s themed event, at least until they do a renovation of the house. So it's and it's also the last thing that they're doing this year before Halloween kicks off. So they're having us down there. It's a very well built haunted house, like really good. Atlanta has a few like really good ones. We get a lot of movie production people in this town, so they get a little competitive. A lot of actors, a lot of very
Gotta
elaborate
love it.
scenes. Really good. What we get out of it is we get to do photography in the house while it's closed down with all the lights turned, like mood lights turned on. And then after that, pretty sure we're probably going to be doing Free Comic Book Day this year. We're going to be doing
Amen.
the other Hollowgate thing in June. We just got invited to a 4th of July parade. We haven't said yes or no yet to because we got to talk about it. It's a busy year. It's almost like there's a movie coming out at the end of the year or something.
I haven't heard about one, so yeah, we'll find out.
I'm trying not to burn anybody out, but as long as we can keep cycling through folks so that everyone gets to do something. I'll be happy.
I've said it multiple times on the show, and I'll say it again. We are absolutely living in the golden age of the Ghostbusters fandom. And I know some people take offense to that, and they're like, no, these movies aren't as good. I'm like, it's not about that. It's
Or at
about
least in the renaissance of it.
absolutely, at least in the Renaissance, but the quantity and the quality of content that is coming out from merchandise, the amount of proton packs that we're getting right now, and the accessories and the suits that are like, replicas of
All
the
those
original
Magnolia
film.
suits.
Oh my god.
I can't even look. I
Like,
don't even want to be tempted. They're not cheap, but they do seem like they are worth the money they're asking for.
absolutely. So it is absolutely a great time to be a Ghostbusters fan right now. And if you're in the San Antonio or South Texas area, we will be partaking in a lot of Fiesta events. Fiesta's right around the corner. We do a couple of parades. For those dates and times, go to Ghostbusters SATX on Facebook, Ghostbusters San Antonio. You'll find us there. And then we'll also be ramping up for Free Comic Book Day as well as Ghostbusters Day coming up in June. So be on the lookout for that. And that'll do it. We'll have you back on, man, once we can play the Ecto Blaze racing game, or as soon as something else drops. But yeah, we'll also have some big charity ideas that are in the works right now, very, very early on. But stay tuned because we're ramping up. We want this to be as big and as successful as our toy drive that everybody participated in. So that is coming very soon. Stay tuned. For the Ghost Heads radio show, and for Maddie, who couldn't be here, my name is Ted, aka Steady. Joining me from Georgia, from the Atlanta team, Mr. Joe.
Yep. Joe Riccadelli, Atlanta Ghostbusters. We're ready to believe, y'all.
Have a good night, folks. See you next week.